How was that?
Dakar, Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, Rallye du Maroc, Andalusia Rally. Welcome to the inaugural season of the World Rally Raid Championship, which pitted some of the world's top riders and drivers against each other throughout a thrilling 2022. Bikes, quads, cars, buggies and trucks. They all wanted to be a part of this new W2RC, officially launched by David Castera at the start of the Dakar in January. For the first time, we'll be opening the World Championship in both categories. Over 50 drivers have signed up in cars and around 20 in bikes, so it's a real success. History is being made. We're going to witness the birth of this World Rally Raid Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to start your engines.
Mission impossible.
I want to fight!
It was nice to drive because we could push flat out.
Just need to survive.
It looks like different world champion.
We start on two wheels with the bikes, and no fewer than 6 factory teams had signed up for this year's championship, including Sherco. Their top rider is Lorenzo Santolino, who was going nicely at the Dakar until an engine change dropped him down to 11th place overall. He also finished outside the top 10 in Abu Dhabi and Morocco, but he improved to 4th place on home soil in Andalusia. Hero finished just above Sherco in the standings, and there were some real highs for the team from India. Emotionally, the most powerful moment came on the Dakar when Joaquim Rodriguez took his and the team's first ever stage victory. He dedicated it to his brother-in-law Paulo Gonçalves, who tragically lost his life on the Dakar in 2020.
I'm really happy, and this one, of course, this win goes for Paulo. You know, for sure he was with me twisting the throttle today, so I'm really happy.
Ross Branch joined Hero from Yamaha after the Dakar and got off to a brilliant start with stage wins in both Abu Dhabi and Morocco.
We had a lot of fun. It was really tough on the body and the bike, and happy to come out on top today.
The Kalahari Ferrari had a few spills here and there, and he quit the Dakar after a crash, but on his day, he really takes some beating. Kevin Benavides turned up at Dakar 2022 with the #1 plate as the defending champion and with a new team after switching from Honda to KTM. But his hopes of doubling up were ruined by engine failure on stage 10. I don't know what happened. I was riding well today, trying to push because we're only 3 days from the end of the rally. And I don't know, all of a sudden the bike just stopped. The engine broke. I heard a funny noise and it stopped and it won't start again. I'm out of the rally. Well, the Argentine ran into more mechanical trouble at the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge.
I was without rear brake, so I jumped in a dune and I crashed very hard. So after that I rode with a lot of pain.
So mostly a season to forget for Benavides, but he did claim 2nd place in Andalusia, and he's already looking ahead to 2023.
I don't fight for the championship this year, of course, but anyway, the last races I did good. I felt much better, so I think now just continue with the focus on the next months for the preparation for the Dakar, and then start the 2023 on the top.
Benavides was one of several riders who lost a big chunk of time on stage 1B of the Dakar, along with his teammate Toby Price. The navigation was as tough as the scenery was spectacular, but by the end of the day, the two-time Dakar winner had lost 47 minutes.
Yeah, ended up getting lost there for probably 45-50 minutes, so it's a bit of a shit way to start the rally, but it's only early days and we'll wait and see what happens.
10th at the Dakar, Price improved to 4th in Abu Dhabi in spite of burning his arm at one point on an exhaust pipe. The Australian ended up as the lowest ranked of the Red Bull KTM riders in the W2RC, and that's because his season came to an end after this crash at the Rallye du Maroc. Matthias Walkner only ended up doing the first 2 rounds of the W2RC, skipping Morocco and Andalusia after shoulder surgery in the summer. The Austrian still did a solid job though. He was 5th in Abu Dhabi and 3rd at the Dakar, where he has now claimed 4 podiums in the last 6 editions.
To finish a Dakar podium is almost like a victory for me, because there is so many things you cannot control. Just happy and excited to be on the podium, and I do my maximum, I do my best all these 12 days long, and this is all what I can do.
Well, Dakar 2022 was the 3rd edition in Saudi Arabia. It is the ultimate test of man and machine, a mesmerising dance over the dunes. I think the desert is fascinating. It can be frightening, but fear is also part of what we want to find. I think a lot of people are seeking it out. It's a way of looking for your limits, of pushing yourself, of looking for yourself, and it's rewarding for everybody.
C'est aussi enrichissant pour tous.
Luciano Benavides really came of age in 2022. Kevin's younger brother picked up his very first win in Rally Raid at the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge.
It's one of the best days in my life. It's really amazing, but I work a lot for this, and I'm really proud of this.
The Argentine then had a brilliant end to the season to come 4th in the W2RC standings. He was 2nd at the Rallye du Maroc and powered to 3rd at the Andalusia Rally. The Husqvarna's looking in great shape, and Luciano will definitely be a man to watch in 2023.
Now I feel prepared to go to Dakar strong and try to be again on the podium will be the best.
The other Husqvarna factory rider, Skylar Howes of the United States, made headlines in Morocco. The former privateer roaring to his very first overall victory in this discipline.
I don't even have the words right now to explain what I'm feeling, because this is just like, man, it was always just a dream for me to race rallies in general, and to be here on a factory bike now and winning a world championship is it's the coolest feeling in the world.
Honda turned out to be the team to beat, with their strength in depth helping them to top the manufacturers' standings. Joan Barreda only rode the Dakar, but he came 5th in spite of an injured shoulder. He also grabbed 2 stage wins to move to 29 in total. Nacho Cornejo had a pretty consistent season, but he was never quite up at the sharp end of the standings. 6th in Dakar, 7th in Abu Dhabi and Morocco, and then 11th in Andalusia. The Chilean is hoping to be back in the hunt for podiums and for stage wins in 2023. Pablo Quintanilla impressed the locals with his desert riding early in the season. As well as coming 3rd in Abu Dhabi, he matched his best ever Dakar result by finishing as the runner-up.
We were fighting every day since the beginning. It was really tough for the body, for the mind. It was a great result for me with the new team.
Unfortunately, a crash in Morocco stopped him fighting for the W2RC title, and he didn't go to Andalusia because of a sore shoulder. Ricky Brabec also had a nightmare start to the Dakar, losing a lot of time on stage 1B.
I mean, honestly, I feel like my rally's over.
But the American fought back to come 7th in Saudi Arabia and then finished on the podium in Abu Dhabi and Morocco. Mathematically, he could just about have snatched the title in Andalusia if everything had gone his way, but the technical tracks in southern Spain really aren't his cup of tea.
Andalusia really makes you feel like you don't know how to ride a motorcycle.
Brabec nevertheless finishing on the W2RC podium along with his new teammate. That was Adrian van Beveren, who only made his first outing with Honda in Morocco but got off to a flying start. The Frenchman took 2 stage wins there and then 2 more in Andalusia, where he claimed his first overall victory in Rally Raid since back in 2019.
I am really exigent with myself, but also with my family to achieve my goals in this sport. And today to win, it's also their victory because, yeah, all of that, they always on my back, always helping me and giving all. So for me, it's really a lot of emotion today.
But the star of the season was Van Beveren's brother-in-law, Sam Sunderland. He ended up taking the World Championship crown by a handsome margin. The Gas rider was a model of consistency at the Dakar, conquering his 2nd title there after 2017.
Honestly, it brings a little bit of emotion, but yeah, it's a lot of work all the year from everybody. You know, my friends, my family, my team is all worth it when you take the victory, you know.
Sunderland then doubled up at the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge.
Even, you know, until the last moment, I wasn't really sure that I could get it done today, and just gave everything I had, and yeah, really, really happy.
The British rider able to manage his championship lead and celebrate the world title on the beach in Spain.
It's really technical terrain here, and you know, not easy for the organizer to get all the permissions to run us through all these towns and small pieces. So yeah, really grateful for everyone's work, and for sure to bring home the title here on the beach, and not a bad day.
Sunderland becoming the first World Rally Raid champion in the bikes by 26 points from Brabec. Van Beveren just 1 point back in 3rd as Honda topped the team standings. Now let's go back to the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge with Sunderland, who spent 10 years living in the UAE.
My first rally was there in 2011 in Abu Dhabi, so a lot of cool memories almost 10 years later, and here I am. I was living here 10 years, and I moved here firstly in 2009. I was obviously racing in the UK. At that time I had a job, I was a lift engineer. I came out for a holiday and went riding at the track there in Dubai, and the KTM dealer saw me riding and said, hey, how about you come over and do training schools, race for us and work in the shop here? And I said, yeah, okay, sounds good, we'll try it out. And that was how sort of my life in Dubai started, and how I got into racing rallies really.
Well, Sunderland has enjoyed plenty of success since his early days in Dubai. 3 Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge titles and 2 Dakar titles. 1 for KTM and 1 for Gas, the team that he only joined a month before the rally.
It was more like a refresher, and I took it like in a positive way and was excited about it, and yeah, so far it's gone pretty good, so we'll try and keep the ball rolling. It was really nice to
to get that Dakar this year, and it was such a hard fight as well, you know, like going into the last stage, we were just talking about minutes between the top three, and fighting like that every day for 2 weeks to really earn it, you know, it was really hard earned, this Dakar win, and it just kind of means that much more to me to get it done.
Next year, Sunderland will be lining up as number 1 for the second time in his career.
Yeah, it's nice to start in front, I guess, and hopefully I can just sort of keep doing what I've been doing, and we're here to race bikes, and the fastest guy will win. Yeah, looking forward to it.
In the Rally 2 class, one man stood head and shoulders above the rest. Mason Klein, could you have imagined finishing 9th in your maiden Dakar as the top rookie?
That's insane, actually, but it's cool to hear. Thank you guys for letting me know. Can't believe I'm here.
The young American ended up completing a clean sweep, winning the Rally 2 class at all 4 rounds. He is now looking forward to making a step up in 2023.
Rally GP Dakar 2023, right, Bart? Yes. It's not confirmed, but it's for sure.
Second place went to Romain Dumontier, who finished 22nd at the Dakar. The Frenchman ended up on the podium in Rally 2 at all 4 rounds of the championship. Bradley Cox was 3rd. The son of 13-time Dakar participant Alfie Cox, the young South African had to deal with a bit of frustration at times, a fuel tank issue at the Dakar, then an injury in Abu Dhabi. He says that he is determined to conquer the Rally 2 class in 2023. The Rally 3 class was also introduced midway through the season. Jeremy Miroir of France put in a fine performance to win on his debut in Andalusia. But the title went to Morocco's Amin Eschiger. He delighted the home fans with victory at the Rally du Maroc. Eschiger was then 3rd in Andalusia, and that was enough to secure the World Championship crown. Onto the quads, who had a brutal time of it at this year's Dakar. Only 7 riders finished, with debutant Francisco Moreno taking 2nd place. Not bad for the young farmer from Argentina. Moreno overhauled Kamil Wisniewski on the final stage of the Dakar, but the Pole ended up in a higher position in the World Championship. As well as taking an excellent podium finish in Saudi Arabia, he was 3rd at the Andalusia Rally and 3rd in the W2RC. Juraj Varga was one of the most consistent performers on 4 wheels this season. Even if he didn't actually take part in the Dakar, he'll be making his debut there in 2023. The Slovakian was 2nd in Abu Dhabi, 2nd in Morocco, and you guessed it, 2nd in Andalusia, finishing as the runner-up in the championship. Keep an eye out for him next season. Abdulaziz Akhli, on the other hand, only took part in 1 rally, but it was some performance from the Emirati in Abu Dhabi. The local hero won all 5 stages to take a brilliant victory. He will also be making his Dakar bow in January. Alexandre Giroud made a dream start to the season as he won the Dakar 25 years after his father had completed the rally, also on a quad. Winning the Dakar is huge in any sporting career. It's pretty exceptional. Giroud was also the quickest of the W2RC quads at the Rally du Maroc, increasing his championship lead. The Frenchman also finished on top in Andalusia to secure the world title ahead of Varga and Wisniewski. Abu Dhabi is one of the world's most spectacular cities, and it's home to one of the world's most spectacular rallies. The Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge has been going strong now for over 30 years.
The meeting place of champions, yeah, and like we said, today we're welcoming the rally raid champions to Yas Marina Circuit. Having Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge come to Yas Marina Circuit and grow in Abu Dhabi is a key part of our plans.
Over to the lightweight prototypes, or the T3s, where 19-year-old Seth Quintero really made a splash in 2022. The teen sensation was quickly out of the running for overall victory at the Dakar due to differential problems, but he soon had his eyes set on a new target.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, how are you? Thanks.
How was today?
Yeah, today went really well.
Yeah.
Followed your lines and it got away with the win. I hear there's a record of how many stage wins in one Dakar, and it's 9, and it was set back in 1984. So I got to break that record. Hopefully we can get that done.
Well, Quintero did end up breaking Pierre Lartigue's record with a whopping 12 wins, but overall victory at the Dakar still went to Chaleco Lopez. The American then ran into more mechanical bother at the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, breaking his front axles on the opening stage.
That sucks. Kind of basically ends our rally right there. We're going to need a miracle to try to come back from 33 minutes down, but I guess we'll do what we do every rally and just try to make as much time as possible.
Quintero did end the season on a high note, though, claiming his first overall victory in this discipline at the Rallye du Maroc.
I don't think I've ever driven so cautious and scared in my life. I've never been in the position to manage a lead. No, it was an awesome day today. A lot of fast sand, which is what my driving style is. But yeah, it's nice to be here at the finish line and call ourselves the overall winner.
Quintero's Red Bull teammate Cristina Gutierrez also had her share of frustrations this season. Mechanical trouble on stage 8 of the Dakar meant that she and Francois Cazelet had to be content with 3rd place overall. The Spaniard was always fighting, but more technical issues in Andalusia meant that she couldn't defend her title on home soil.
We had some problems in the brakes. We lost the rear brakes completely. We tried to fight from the beginning, and like this is not possible.
Reliability was an issue for the Red Bull Off-Road Junior team throughout the season. Poor old Mitch Guthrie missed the Dakar after catching COVID, and then in Abu Dhabi, this happened. The American did finally finish a rally in Morocco, but he'll be hoping for better in 2023. Guillaume de Mévius was following in the family footsteps as he took part in his first Dakar this year. The Belgian's father, Gregoire, won 3 stages back in Africa, and it only took his son a couple of days to get a first stage victory of his own. De Mévius, who comes from a rallying background, showing impressive pace over the sand. I wasn't expecting to win because we drove pretty carefully. No navigation mistakes, but we didn't push that hard. And we even stopped at one point to give a wheel to a teammate, so this is a real bonus. De Mévius ended up withdrawing from the Dakar and the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge before his family team, G Rally, took over assistance for the Red Bull OT3s before the Rallye du Maroc. That worked out very nicely indeed, with Quintero and Gutierrez both on the podium in Morocco. Guthrie and De Mévius did have a few issues, but they both still made it to the finish line. Demevius then teamed up with Francois Cazelet for the Andalusia Rally, and they ended up taking overall victory, making Cazelet the world champion among co-drivers.
It was one of the objectives of this race. It was try to beat Seth to offer the title to Francois. So I'm very happy for him, and I hope it will help for next year now.
But Chaleco Lopez turned out to be in a league of his own. Despite driving with 3 different co-drivers in 2022, the Chilean dominated the season, kicking things off with his 3rd Dakar title. We didn't have major problems. We didn't lose much time every day, and we showed that we could win by being consistent. It's another way to race, but we enjoyed it just as much. Almost 10 years after his first visit on a bike, Chaleco then won in Abu Dhabi. He even ended up as the fastest FIA vehicle ahead of the T1 cars. Consistency was the name of the game, and Chaleco didn't have to take many risks as he cruised to 2nd place in Morocco. Another podium in Andalusia helped him to secure the World Rally Raid Championship title by a comfortable margin from Quintero.
It's very happy for my first World Championship in the car. It's very important, consistent, and not to lose time every day. For the World Championship on the same Dakar, yes, not to lose time, it's possible to win on the podium tour.
Lopez is the titan of the T3s. He finished 30 points clear of Quintero, who pipped Gutierrez to 2nd place. Demevius and Tom Bell rounded out the top 5.
It's an adventure, and that's probably my favorite part, is the adventure aspect and going all around the countries and all of the different bivouacs and the challenges of every day and racing over and over and over for 12 days. It's really amazing.
Meet Austin Jones, one of the stars of the SSV class, who's gunning for his first Dakar title in 2022. The American was raised in the world of Baja racing.
Well, the relationship between the Dakar Rally and American motorsport fans is it's very interesting, because it's very different from all the ways that we race in America and as well down in Mexico. So the stage racing and the length of going from different places and the bivouac concept is very different. So it's very hard for some people to understand. It takes a lot to make them understand, to try to explain it to them. But overall, I think it's getting more popular, definitely. With the success of more Americans, more people are getting onto it and following it. When I began in motorsports, I knew it because of Robbie Gordon, obviously, and Mark Miller, some of the older guys in the older generation. Yeah, I knew that it was eventually something that I definitely wanted to try.
Well, Jones has done more than just try the Dakar. He finished as runner-up in the T4s in 2021.
The good results definitely help. It makes me like it more.
Having won several rallies and the FIA World Cup in 2021, he is now targeting glory at the World Rally Raid Championship in 2022.
The T4 category and the T3, they're really getting faster. Everybody's getting better, and the times are getting closer and closer. So now it's just full blast the entire time. You have to be almost pushing as fast as you can for 100% of the stage for 100% of the race. It's definitely growing in numbers, and it just gets tougher and tougher.
Tougher and tougher indeed. This year the SSV class was home to the tightest battle in the W2RC.
For sure, we are ready to fight, only 1 point, and if one mistake, game is over.
We're all so close and our cars are all the same, so it's really a driver's class, I see it as.
I want to fight!
It all kicked off at the Dakar, where Austin Jones took a thrilling victory. The American managed to overhaul his teammate Gerard Fares on the final day to take the honours. Meanwhile, Rokas Baciuszka pipped Marek Goksal to third place. Jones going one better than in 2021 when he was second behind Chaleco Lopez.
Man, it means everything. I mean, this is what we've always wanted. This is what we've trained for 3 years now, ever since I started this, and this is what we've always wanted. I mean, this is the goal of any rally raid racer, is to win Dakar. So to get it done on a day like this, on the last day like this, I mean, it's a perfect ending to a really great story.
Jones was the early front-runner in the W2RC then, but he ran into trouble at the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. Electrical problems meant that he was unable to double up and allowed his rivals to close the gap. Baciuszka had already turned a few heads on his Dakar debut as he finished on the podium, and the young Lithuanian, who comes from karting and rallycross, backed that up with second place in Abu Dhabi. He looked very keen to be part of the World Championship fight. But the standout performer of round 2 was Goksal, who grabbed 3 stages plus the overall victory. That put him within 4 points of Jones in the standings, although his brother Michal missed out on second place after a mechanical. I'm very happy that we managed to get the win. I am a bit sad for my brother, who is still out there fighting on the stage. He had a good chance to get second place here. My dream is to stand on the podium with all of my family. In Morocco, it was Goksal's turn to have electrical issues in his South Racing prepared buggy. Undeterred, he won the last 2 stages to snatch the W2RC lead. That's after Jones had yet more woes. He wasn't able to finish stage 1B after getting stuck in the soft sand, and then he incurred some big penalties. The American really losing momentum late in the season, just as Baciuszka was gaining it. With his new co-driver, Oriol Vidal, the Lithuanian managed to secure his first overall success in Rally Raid. That meant there were just 2 measly points separating the top 3 before the final round in Andalusia.
Disappointed that Jones and Marek cannot fight each other, you know, this Rally Morocco. That's a world championship, and that I like, you know, everybody's equal and the same. That is the world champion.
And so to the decider in Andalusia, where AJ's poor run continued. A couple of crashes for the Dakar champion, definitively ending his hopes of the world title.
It's a bummer, and it definitely hurts our chances for anything good to happen in this race, that's for sure.
Goksal began the rally with a 1-point lead, but he found himself needing to chase Baciuszka on the penultimate stage, and disaster struck for the pole. They did manage to repair the car overnight and complete the final outing, but they had to settle for second place in the championship. My style is quite aggressive and, yeah, sometimes it destroys the car. But what can I say? I don't know how to drive any slower. And so at just 22 years of age, Rokas Baciuszka was crowned World Rally Raid champion. This young man clearly has a very bright future ahead of him, but bravo to all 3 podium finishers in the T4s for entertaining us throughout the season.
We made history in our country. Nobody did like that, like me, you know. Yeah, my was a future to, how to say, I dream to be the world champion in any category, it doesn't matter, but we did. It was, you know, hard.
Baciuszka finished just 6 points clear of Goksal and 9 ahead of Jones, with rising star Pau Navarro in 4th place. Navarro was the revelation of the second half of the season. The 18-year-old came second in Morocco before overtaking Fares to win in Andalusia.
We pushed like crazy. Like coming to the stage, I was thinking about Mission Impossible, but we managed to do it. We managed to win, and yeah, really happy.
Well, this was the third edition of the Andalusia Rally and very different to last year. Some really technical tracks in the areas around Sevilla and Dos Hermanas. The landscapes are magnificent. We're going to 4 provinces this year: Malaga, Huelva, Sevilla and Cadiz. It means we can have a rally-style event in Europe with the best in the business, and that's also important. It was a 2-horse race in the trucks, with Martin Maciek drawing first blood. He was the top W2RC driver at the Dakar, picking up a maximum haul of 50 points. But a broken gearbox at the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge damaged his hopes of taking the World Championship title. Unlike some of the locals, Maciek failed to get across the desert. And his loss was Kees Kolen's gain, the Dutchman winning in Abu Dhabi to take a big lead in the championship. His Iveco Power Star was actually built in Maciek's workshops, so the Czech entrepreneur won't have been too disappointed with how it all worked out.
The 3 Dutch drivers receive medals and trophies galore.
The trucks only took part in 3 rounds: Dakar, Abu Dhabi and Morocco. Maciek won the final rally, but it wasn't enough to close the gap on Kolen, who celebrated the W2RC title.
Unbelievable. First year in the truck, and then this, it's great, no?
And so to the cars, where there was set to be a spectacular showdown between 2 of the best in the business: Sebastian Loeb and Nasser Al-Attiyah. Both men were looking for their first Dakar title in Saudi Arabia, and Al-Attiyah drew first blood. He won a tricky stage 1B ahead of Loeb, thanks to some fine work from his co-driver, Mathieu Baumel.
Mathieu, he did a really good job, you know, in navigation, last part, you know, because we see a lot of line gone too much right, you know. And Mathieu, he said, no, Nasser, you need to be left, and just me and Sab, and we try to push, you know, at least to take a good time.
Well, Loeb hit back the following day after being expertly guided through the stage by his new co-driver, Fabien Lurcan. Hot on Nasser's heels and enjoying a nice clean run to take ProDrive's very first stage win on the Dakar. It was also the Frenchman's first since back in 2019. We were quick all day, no mistakes, no punctures. It was a perfect special. But the BRX ProDrive Hunter ran into trouble on stage 3. Early punctures and a broken transmission, which meant doing most of the special in 2-wheel drive. They were sitting ducks for Al-Attiyah, who went cruising by, increasing his overall advantage to almost 40 minutes. Of course, Nasser has a comfortable lead now. We're not going to be able to pressure him like we wanted to, but we will still keep pushing. We have no other choice, and we'll just see what happens. Well, they say it takes 2 to tango, and so the Toyota and the Hunter continued their dance over the dunes. Stage 5 was like a long-distance rallycross race, with Loeb and Al-Attiyah switching positions, playing follow the leader, and clearly having a ball. We did 200k like that, battling it out side by side. It was fun. Nasser only had one real scare on stage 8 with a rear puncture and a broken differential, but he and Baumel still had a big advantage and they managed to limit their losses. Otherwise, it was smooth sailing for the Qatari, who was soon celebrating his 4th Dakar title and his very first in the Middle East.
this is amazing win. This was very important for me because it's here in our region, you know, and I'm so happy.
Well, speaking of this region, there was also delight for Yazid Al-Raji as he became the first Saudi to finish on the Saudi Dakar podium. Al-Raji was never quite boxing in the same category as Alatia and Loeb, but he still did a very fine job to take his best result in 8 participations. Orlando Terranova came 4th at the Dakar, although at this point he wasn't signed up to the W2RC. It was a career best result for the Argentine, who later came 2nd in Morocco. He was also able to celebrate a Dakar stage victory for the BRX team just before the rest day, his first since back in 2015.
Thank you. Great job. Great job.
Things didn't go so well for his teammate Nani Roma. 5th with BRX in 2021, he finished his 26th Dakar way down in 52nd place after a host of mechanical issues. And he wasn't the only one to run into a spot of bother. Gerlan Shishiri suffered a monumental crash in his GCK Thunder. Crew unharmed and they soldiered on, but that put paid to any chance of a good result. Well, happily Shishiri was able to bounce back later in the season. After doing a deal with ProDrive, the Frenchman got behind the wheel of a Hunter at the Rallye du Maroc and powered his way to overall victory. Shishiri adding to his win at the 2021 Silkway Rally and showing that he can mix it up with the big guns. It's been a while since we drove a car that's properly competitive. Takes a bit of pressure off, now we can relax and just get ready for the Dakar. As well as boasting some breathtaking scenery, Morocco is home to one of the toughest rallies on the calendar, and there were some extra challenges on the menu for this 2022 edition. We've come to Agadir to explore the south of Morocco. This year we'll be moving around, so it's like a mini Dakar. The stages are similar with lots of navigation, but it's a bit different to usual, and it's always interesting to offer new challenges. New challenges, new landscapes. The Rallye du Maroc never disappoints. Well, now let's leave Morocco and head back to Abu Dhabi, where a certain Nasser Al-Attiyah has been competing since the mid-1990s.
My dream to win the new title, you know, because I am the last driver also to win the World Cup, you know. This is also something to close and to open the new history. I was from 10 years old and I drive, you know, with my father, you know. He bought for me when I was 12, small Suzuki, and I was driving, rolling, crashing, you know, and I prepare myself, and yeah, it's a nice. I learn a lot for desert, you know. It was amazing, you know, to have a long history of this race, you know, and 94 I finished 4 or 5 overhaul, and it was with a Land Rover car. I make it myself, you know, and this time I don't have also mechanic. I do myself, you know, and change the wheel during the service and just to clean the cars, and second day we are ready, you know. The dunes is not easy for everybody, but I think you need to be brave, you know, and last year we opened every day, And I try to make a little bit difficult for the other driver, you know, but sometimes it's nice, you know, when you have big dunes and just to climb. It's one of the favorite race, you know, because it's totally different, you know, 100% of sand dune, and this is amazing, you know, how this rally still keep going with the high level, you know. My dream to win again.
Well, back to the cars, and it was another consistent season for Jakub Przonski. The Polish star was 6th at the Dakar, so he has now finished in the top 7 in 5 of the past 6 editions. He was also the top-ranked W2RC car in Abu Dhabi, behind Stefan Petterhansel, who wasn't taking part this year. Sticking with his tried and tested mini buggy, Kuba couldn't always match the T1 Plus cars for pace, but he still ended up in 4th in the W2RC. Yazid Al-Raji was very much the best of the rest this season, wrapping up 3rd place in the W2RC. The Saudi was happy to get a lot of kilometres under his belt, and despite some technical issues here and there, he did a fine job with his 2 co-drivers, Michael Orr and Dirk von Zitzowitz. Al-Raji picked up 2 stage wins in Morocco on his way to 4th place overall, and then came 3rd in Andalusia. He also won the World Cup for cross-country Bajas. Some of the biggest names in the sport enjoying a quiet moment together. Perhaps they were trying to convince Petterhansel to sign up for 2023. Nasser Al-Attiyah led the championship by just a point, heading into the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. But the Qatari made a nightmare start to one of his favourite rallies, as we've seen, suffering a broken wishbone that forced him to quit the opening stage.
We have a small drop, and the front arms was broken, you know, and today's game over for us, and we'll see tomorrow.
A bad day for Nasser then, but he roared back to win the other 4 stages, while Loeb had a few issues of his own. The Frenchman wasn't able to take a maximum haul of points, but he still finished higher than Al-Attiyah overall.
We will see where we are. We will score some points for the championship, not what we expected, but it's better than nothing.
By the end of Abu Dhabi, the 2 legends had swapped places. It was now Loeb leading by just a single point from Al-Attiyah. But the Frenchman came unstuck in Morocco. A broken wishbone and 2 punctures on one stage, power steering failure on another. That meant he didn't score any points in the overall standings.
Doesn't look great for the championship, but we don't know what will happen in the future.
By the end of the Rally to Maroc, the 9-time World Rally champion was 22 points down on Al-Attiyah. The Qatari had lost almost an hour on stage 2 after a series of punctures, but he hit back to finish 3rd overall and take a commanding championship lead to Andalusia. Al-Attiyah just looking to finish the job in southern Spain then, but you knew that Sebastian Loeb would keep fighting until the bitter end. The Frenchman was quickest in the short prologue around Dos Hermanas as he looked to put pressure on his rival. He needed to score big points and hoped that Nasser struggled. But Al-Attiyah loves to manage a lead, as we saw at the Dakar, and he went roaring through stage 1B to surge into the overall lead. Mind that buggy. Loeb kept plugging away. A big win on stage 3 put him back into the rally lead, and while he never seriously threatened to catch Al-Attiyah in the W2RC, he took his first overall win in this discipline. The margin of victory was just 6 seconds.
It's a nice victory because the fight with Nasser was really tough. We finished at 6 seconds at the end, so that was a great battle for our rally like that.
Well, Loeb may have won the battle, but Nasser won the war. holding on to win the World Rally Raid Championship by 20 points.
We are so happy, to win the world champion. It was a really tough year. This is the first year of this title for cross country, and we win a lot of World Cup, but it's look like different world champion.
Alatir showing he was the man to beat in 2022, taking the crown ahead of Loeb, Al-Raji and Przonski. Chileko Lopez was 5th in his T3. Toyota Gazoo Racing topped the team standings ahead of Bahrain Raid Extreme. It's been a great season, but in many ways the W2RC story is only just beginning.
I think some big surprise is coming.
It's a rally, anything can happen.
I don't play the games, but I keep the score.
It's the kind of roads that I enjoy.
Cause in traffic, if I catch up with my eyes, like, ooh,
this was the World Rally Raid Championship 2022. From Dakar to the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, from the Rally to Morocco to the Andalusia Rally. They came, they saw, and they conquered. Thanks for watching, and join us again in 2023.
I do it best. Cause in traffic, if I catch up with my eyes.